Hello, everybody. Yay, I was straight. Hello, 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 everybody. So, welcome to my channel. Let's talk with La Precious. My name is La Precious, and today I am going to be channeling the Loa or the Misterio, La Gunguna, and in the Catholic faith, we call her Saint Ellen. So, as you guys know, we have just overcome a horrible hurricane known as Hurricane Ellen. Hurricane Ellen, came through the Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina, where I'm at, and it did some damage. It knocked out some power. It knocked out people's power for days. It, rampaged through different towns, through different stores, through different neighborhoods. Like Asheville was completely underwater. And when it comes to North Carolina folks, South Carolina people, we are not Florida. We are not Texas. We are not used to all of this water mounting up and swelling up and overthrowing and overpowering bridges and buildings and homes and things like that. So this was devastating to a lot of people in the Carolinas. But one thing that I found interesting is how the hurricane was named Ellen. To you spiritual people out there, we know that there is a saint named Saint Ellen. She is a patron saint of archaeologists, difficult marriages, devout Christianity, because during her life she was a very devout Christian woman. But she's also the patron saint of, managing, difficult situations, because she knows what it's like to be in a place of difficulty, because she grew up, I believe, in like a pagan family. Her son was Constantine the Great. He was the first Christian Roman emperor, and her husband left her. Her first husband left her pretty much for political reasons. So she knows what it's like to be ostracized and talked about and going through all that mess and overcoming it, being left and, going through that, and then being a devout Christian and going through the struggles of Christianity. Because the reason why the cross is, in her picture, she's holding the cross is because she is believed to be the saint who discovered the cross of Christ, the cross that Jesus bore, I believe, when he went on Calvary. So that's pretty much St. Ellen's, story. Now, when it comes to the voodoo side of St. Ellen is called La Gunguna in the 21 divisions. The 21 divisions of Dominican voodoo, the religion that you guys know that I practice and I'm initiated in. So, La Gunguna is a hot spirit. She is a fiery spirit. She is a spirit that people consult about love and business and things like that. Reach boss, my question to you: what you believe in, karma or destiny? Okay, I'll answer those questions a little later. So when it comes to Lagunguna in the 21 division, she is a hot spirit. She is a very passionate spirit, and a lot of people use Lagunguna in love spells or in passion spells, or they use her to like manifest money and business and things of that nature. But I actually did a reading on my live on TikTok about the connection between Hurricane Ellen and St. Ellen, and did she have anything to do with it, and what was her connection to it, and why this hurricane was so disastrous when it came to the Carolinas. So let's pull some cards on the situation while I channel the spirit of St. Ellen Lagunguna. Spirit of Lagunguna, when it comes to the people of YouTube, please give them an accurate answer. Please give them accurate answers about Hurricane Ellen. What was the point of Hurricane Ellen? Did you have anything to do with Hurricane Ellen? And why was this hurricane so disastrous? So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you some questions. Spirit of Laguna, why was Hurricane why was Hurricane Helen so disastrous when it came to the Carolinas? Why was it so disastrous and so devastating to the people in North Carolina? So Laguna is saying that this hurricane was spun on by a mambo. To you guys who don't know what a mambo is a high priestess in the 21 divisions or in Haitian voodoo. But okay, Laguna, was this mambo Haitian or was she Dominican? Laguna is saying she was Puerto Rican. Okay, so Why did the mambo offset this hurricane and why was it so disastrous? The mambo was abused. So what's going on here is that the Mamba was very dissatisfied with what was going on in her city and what was going on in her town. Because like Gunguna is saying, it was very difficult and very hard for her to earn money. And it was hard for her to really connect and to really get along with the people. And she just really didn't like what people were saying to her, what people were talking, what people were saying to her, and what people were saying about her. But she didn't like how in this town or in the city that she lived in, it was so like backwards. It was old school. A lot of people weren't open minded, and a lot of people just didn't know like where she came from or like what she was doing, what she was up to. And some of the people, they tried to scare her. They tried to scare her away. They tried to scare her out of the city. And like when I was saying that this Mambo was just very tired of it. She was very sick and tired of it. So, speaking of Black Laguna, what was the purpose of this mambo offsetting or causing this hurricane to happen like this? What was the reason? What was the purpose? There's change going on here. She wanted there to be change. Yep. She wanted there to be change. She wanted there to be a renewal. She wanted there to be like a restoration or like a rejuvenation of the city or the town that she lived in. Because what's going on here is that she felt like the city was too backwards. People were too nonchalant. People were just too like outlandish and outspoken when it came to them being against her beliefs, when it came to them being in a place of like set in their ways is what I'm picking up. She feels like these people that were in the city were very much set in their ways. And she kind of wanted to make it more abundant for herself because she wanted to make it so she could be able to talk to people, she could be able to socialize, she could be able to maneuver and do things because her whole point was saying, like, I'm not moving. Because when you guys see cups like this, that means making, friends and being married. Hello, making friends and being married or like building connections and building different partnerships and whatnot. So this Mambo, she wanted to make it different for herself, but in a good way. But she wanted to tear up this town that she was in because she felt like it was too different, but she also felt like it was too backwards. That there needed to be a rejuvenation, a restoration, that there needed to be some renewal going on in this area. And as you guys can see, like Hurricane Ellen, it mainly hit like the rural areas, like the countrysides, the little country cities, the villes, Asheville, and so on and so forth. Because when it comes to like West North Carolina, like the mountains and Greensboro Triad area, it missed us. We still got the rain and the heat and the wind and whatnot. But when it came to like the east part, of the Carolinas, that's the side that got tore up the worst. And a lot of people have even been saying, like I've been seeing people do videos and talk about this on TikTok about how the sundown cities were the ones that were hit the most. So if you guys don't know what sundown cities are in the South, and there are a lot of them. In North Carolina, King used to be known as like a racist white city. And now it's more mixed. You do have more mixture. You do have more different types of people, other races besides white, who work and live in King. But there are other sundown towns that are in North Carolina. Like Pineville is one of them. King is another one of them. And I used to know the names of some of them, but yes, North Carolina still has sundown towns. Texas is another state in the southeast that has a lot of sundown towns. And their sundown towns, I want to say, are a lot worse than the ones here in North Carolina. And I'm going to go back to the definition of sundown towns. So sundown towns are historically racist white cities. And it's a known fact that if you are black or if you're a person of color, that you cannot remain or that you cannot stay in a sundown city past 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Because when the sun goes down, that's when the Ku Klux Klan and all the other racist white people love to play and love to go on a rampage when it comes to finding people of color to bully and harass. And so that's why they're called sundown towns, because when the sun goes down, that's when it's time for you to get out, especially if you're not white. So a lot of people were talking about, oh, the hurricane, it hit a lot of the sundown cities or the sundown towns. What does this mean? And, there must be a spiritual meaning or a connection to this. And a lot of people really weren't given like any real like significance or like definitions or explanations of it. But yes, this hurricane was spiritual because, like I said, when it comes to the Carolinas, we're not used to all this water like this. I mean, like water, superseding houses, and water, superseding bridges, and water, flooding out full neighborhoods and towns and cities to the point where it looks like an ocean, or it looks like a major lake in an area that's a city. This is something that's new and like really devastating. But when it comes to natural disasters, they are spiritual. If you are a person that practices the African traditional religions like Santeria, the 21 divisions, Ifa, Isheshe, spirits are a part of nature, because you have the fire spirits, the air spirits, the water spirits, and the earth spirits. And a lot of those energies or deities, they tend to manifest themselves in nature, because it's a known fact that when Yemaya is very angry and wants to make a stance, she starts rippling up the waves or rippling up, high tides, and crashing down and causing destruction. When it comes to Oya, Oya is the Orisha of like lightning and, chaos and change. And when it comes to Oshun, you have Oshun, who represents the waters of, wealth and prosperity and luck. And then you have the petro spirits or the fire spirits like Eziridanto, Papacandelo, and Santa Marta. And those spirits, now I find it kind of funny with La Gunguna, how La Gunguna is an air spirit in the 21 divisions, but she has a fieriness about her, so she probably does have some duality with fire and air. But yeah, so those spirits, they manifest within nature. Like with Papacandelo, when you light a fire, in his name or his honor, he tends to use fire as a means to cleanse and heal people. So those are the types of things that go on and that happen, in the ATRs and with spirits, and how they manifest themselves in nature. So in the religions or in the different spiritual communities, we do receive messages from nature, or our deities and the spirits, that communicate through nature and they make a statement through nature. So yes, this hurricane was very spiritual. I'm also picking up from Laguna that this hurricane was a form of a cleanse. This hurricane was a form of renewal. And this hurricane was a fiery like energy. And it did come from a place of anger. And it did come from a place of, well, I'm not going to say it came from a place of fear on Lagunguna's part, but it did come from LDS or Christian. I don't understand what LDS means. It did come from a place of cleansing and renewal, rejuvenation, but it did invoke a fear within the people within these areas. It invoked a fear of God, because and that was about to come full circle, because like I mentioned earlier in the video, Saint Ellen was a devout Christian. She was what they call in the Bible a pagan, Latter-day Saints, or Christian. Well, no, I'm not talking about Latter-day Saints. I'm talking about when spirits manifest themselves in nature or manifest themselves in the different elements of the earth, wind, fire, and water, and earth, wind, fire, and water or air. That we in the African traditional religions, yes, that's what I meant. So when you think about it, it comes full circle how the fear of God has been invoked in the people that were affected by this. Because, St. Ellen, she early in her life, I believe she was what they call pagan, somebody who was non Christian and believed in different things. When she became a Christian, she knew what it took to be a devout Christian. She knew what it took to have the fear of God and to have the discipline and to have the, homage and the love for Christ and whatnot, because her son was the first Christian emperor in the Roman Empire. So that's pretty much what the purpose of this whole hurricane was. I mean, this hurricane did have a fiery presence to it because last week when I was outside going to work, when all this rain and stuff came, it was rain, but it was hot air. Because not only did you have hurricanes, but you had tornadoes being mixed up in this too. So it's like when it was raining outside and the wind was blowing, it was warm wind that was blowing. It wasn't cold, it wasn't cool, it wasn't nothing. It was warm wind. It was warm wind and like regular rain, but it was like humid outside. It was like so different than what we're used to when it comes to rain. It's like it was hot. Is it rude if a white person said, "What do you think?" Like, that's a stupid question to ask me. And if you're one of those people who thinks that's okay to say that, you can just go ahead and get off my page right now because I'm not tolerating that here. That's a stupid question to ask me. If you ask me that question, then you already know what that question is. Well, you need to get off the computer if that's the real age that you are. I don't know who you are because some of these people that be coming on my live, and I don't know why, be kind of like weird and body and robot like or whatever. But if you the age that you are, you need to get off my page. So back to what I was saying. It was a fiery hurricane. There was a lot of wind. There was a lot of heat. And there was just like a lot of destruction. Trees were split, neighborhoods were destroyed, towns were, destroyed and whatnot. It was just a lot of calamity. And, I've seen like a lot of relief people going out, a lot of relief trucks and things of that nature going out. So there was a lot of damage, a lot of damage that was done in the Carolinas. But this hurricane was spiritual in its own way. It was spiritual in its own way. And now I'm going to answer this first person's question. My question to you: what you believe in, karma or destiny? So, karma and destiny are like two different things. So when it comes to karma, there is good karma and there's bad karma. So good karma is when you do good deeds, you do right by people, and you pay homage, you pay your dues, you do what you're supposed to do. You'll be repaid through different types of blessings. It could be monetary, it could be social, it can be emotional. Like you can get good karma in a lot of different ways. Now, when it comes to bad karma can come through anything. It can come through bad karma. So in order for a person to have bad karma is when you curse people, hex people, when you talk about people, and when you do bad things to people. But a lot of people doubt karma because they see how, oh, well, this person did this to that person and nothing got them bad. They didn't suffer their karma. Karma doesn't work the way that we think it should, and I'm going to tell you why. When they say you have to be careful who you put your mouth on, they really do mean that. Because you have some people who are so favored by God, or they're highly favored by the spirits that follow them, that even if they're in the wrong, they won't let nobody talk about them. They won't let nobody touch them. They won't let anybody say anything against them. And they will get things that may seem unfair to other people. And that's what people don't understand about the spiritual world. That even in the spiritual world, life is not fair. People think sometimes that when you're Christian, you're exempted from life. People think sometimes in spirituality you're exempted from life and unfairness. You're not. But when it comes to bad karma does happen to people, but it really depends on what bad deed is done and who it's done to. Because I have seen this in life that you have people who are so highly favored by God or highly favored by their spirit team that even when they're wrong, they won't let anybody speak against them, even if they're right in what they're saying. Like stuff will start falling off the wall, you'll start dropping stuff, you'll start spitting up or like, stuttering when you talk. That's because this person is they're divinely God, they're divinely shielded from anything. And that's something that you either have to be born with or that's something that has to be placed on you. Because everybody does not have that type of favor on their life like that. Now, bad karma, I want to say when you are done wrong and you're mistreated and disrespected, when you have a good relationship with God, a good relationship with your spirits, you will be protected by that. And when people speak against you, and when people hurt you, and when people disrespect you, your spirit guides or God, they will either push other people to defend you or they will go through somebody outside of you to get back at that person for you. And I've seen it happen too. So that's pretty much how bad karma and good karma pretty much work out. So good karma can come from you being a good person, doing what you need to do, or it can come from you having the favor of God or the favor of your spirits on your life. When it comes to bad karma, it's the same thing. So that's pretty much it as far as this reading. So I hope you guys found this reading interesting. Please leave lovely comments in the comment section. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a good day.